The Kidney Health Initiative, or KEI for short, was founded with the goal of advancing scientific understanding of kidney health and patient safety while fostering important collaborations among the greater nephrology community and the U.S. Food and Drug Administration to develop better therapies for kidney patients. In this episode of the ASN Kidney News Podcast, the American Society of Nephrology's Executive Vice President, Todd Ibrahim, discusses the past and future of this important initiative with the new ASN Co-Chair for KEI, Dr. Raymond Harris, and Dr. Prabir Roy-Chaudhury, who served as ASN's Co-Chair for KEI from 2012 to 2018.
Today I'm here with Dr. Ray Harris and Dr. Prabir Roy-Chaudhury discussing the history, evolution, and future of the Kidney Health Initiative. Prabir, what is the Kidney Health Initiative?
So Todd, the Kidney Health Initiative is basically a public-private partnership between the American Society of Nephrology and the U.S. Food and Drug Administration that is focused on bringing innovation into the kidney disease area. The other way, though, that I like to think about the Kidney Health Initiative is that it's basically a pre-competitive platform where all of the different stakeholders in the kidney disease area, federal agencies, health professional organizations, industry partners, patient organizations can actually come together to try and develop better therapies for patients living with kidney disease.
So Ray, you were on the ASN Council when the Kidney Health Initiative launched in 2012. What were your expectations at that time for KEI?
I think that what we felt on the council was that there was a significant lack of innovation in the kidney space compared to other subspecialties in medicine as well as other specialties, so far as both development of therapeutics as well as devices. And part of this problem was that we felt like, or as we discussed with potential stakeholders, there was some concern that there was not a clear path at the FDA for how to move potential therapies into clinical trials and then beyond. And so our goal was that the Kidney Health Initiative could bridge this gap so that we could bring together, as Prabir said, stakeholders both from industry, patient care, academia, and with the FDA together we could work to develop clear goals and directions for how to develop new therapies for our patients.
And Prabir, can you give me an example of how the Kidney Health Initiative has succeeded in that mission?
So I think what the Kidney Health Initiative really wants to do is to create a pre-competitive innovation substrate, if you will, that facilitates the passage of new therapies, drugs, devices, biologics into the kidney disease area. And the way we want to be able to do this is by doing projects in different strategic priority areas. Some of our priority areas are things like clinical trial design, clinical trial infrastructure, patient partnerships. But our hope really is that the output from these projects, be they workshops or white papers or data standards or roadmaps, will actually make it much easier for new therapies to get into patients and people living with kidney disease.
And how does the Kidney Health Initiative engage the leaders at FDA?
So I think what we've been able to do over the last 6 years now is that we've been able to build up a very large number of interactions with people within different FDA centers. The way we truly engage them is that whenever we have a KHI project, for example, we almost always have FDA representation on the project work group. In addition, we found out over the last many years now that many of our projects do really well when they try and answer a question that is important to both the FDA and the general nephrology community. And when we do projects in such areas, we've had tremendous enthusiasm from the FDA, who have really been, I think, Todd, a wonderful partner for KHI.
So Ray, in terms of this partnership, as you think across the FDA's mission in terms of the next generation of drugs and devices and biologics and nutritional products, From your perspective, what has been sort of the biggest or most significant contribution that Key has made to the kidney community?
Actually, I think one of the biggest contributions has been the ability to come together in this pre-competitive space so that everyone can feel comfortable talking one-on-one and interacting, which is something which had not happened in quite the same way before. And so I think that it's provided incredible connections that of individual companies with the FDA that would not have existed if they had just had to provide the previous model of going them when they had a specific drug or therapy or device to ask the FDA's guidance on. So I think having this interaction in a pre-competitive space has been really absolutely essential. I think another really big win for KHI has been hearing the patient's voice. I think that in the past the patients were, if not marginalized, at least not necessarily listened to in the same way. And having patients at the forefront of every project has really been absolutely crucial in moving forward and really opening the eyes of physicians and companies and the FDA into essential issues which we just may not have considered were important, but are absolutely the most important things for the patient. So I think that's a real win for Key, as well as for the FDA, as well as for the whole community, both nephrologists and industry, I think.
And Prabir, how has the Kidney Health Initiative engaged patients?
So within the Kidney Health Initiative, we're very, very lucky to have a group called the Patient and Family Partnership Council. I really want to recognize Celeste Lee, who was one of our initial board members and a dialysis patient for many years, for really cajoling us, pushing us, being very persistent to create the Patient and Family Partnership Council. What the Patient and Family Partnership Council is, that it's a group of 9 patients. They come or belong to different patient organizations, and I think that's critical in that our PFPC is unique because there isn't another patient organization in the kidney disease space that has representation from all the different patient organizations in the kidney disease area. The second way that our PFPC, I think, is unique is that it has an absolutely laser-like focus on product development. The members of our PFPC, they know about drug development, about device development. They know what the FDA does. And because of that, I think that they are in an absolutely unique position to contribute very positively with regard to having the patient voice front and center when you're talking about product development. At a more operational level, within the Kidney Health Initiative, we have made absolutely sure that every one of our projects goes, during the process of being endorsed for a project, is reviewed by a patient subcommittee. And in addition, when projects come up for being reviewed, a very big emphasis is that they have to be patient-centered. Once a project is endorsed, the PFPC identifies patients who could participate in those work groups. So again, very, very important. All of our KHI work groups have patient representation.
So just to summarize, there are patients who are involved in the board. Then reporting to the board is the Patient and Family Partnership Council, which consists of 9 patients. And then there are patients also included in each of the projects.
Absolutely.
Ray, as you look at the overall ASN enterprise and the different aspects, if it's the ASN or the ASN Foundation for Kidney Research or Nephrologists Transforming Dialysis Safety or the newest edition, KidneyX, the partnership with HHS, how do you see the Kidney Health Initiative contributing to helping those entities meet their goals and objectives?
I think that at least, and we can talk about each one of these individually, but if we start at the end with KidneyX, the newest sort of organizational substructure of the ASN, I think that in a way, Key has been an important partner in helping to develop the initial roadmap that KidneyX is now following for developing new innovative device therapies. So I think that that's one aspect of how Key can help the different, I won't call them satellites, but parts of the ASN. I think so far as, NDTS, I think going forward, it may be that working with CDC, we may be able to help them develop, and with the ASN, a more sort of general framework of other potential complications that should be addressed in the dialysis population. I think that, again, KHI brings a lot of expertise in those areas, both in the large dialysis providers as well as the device manufacturers and, of course, in the patients. And so I think that we can be an important facilitator for that. Obviously, for the Kidney Foundation, providing the next generation of researchers, I think that helping to develop innovations in kidney space, I think that will continue to excite, hopefully, and bring in more people doing research. So I think in many ways, KHI can help to facilitate all of the other important projects and goals and operations of the ASN.
So Prabir, Ray addressed the relationship between the Kidney Health Initiative and KidneyX. I'm just wondering if you have anything to add.
No, I would agree with Ray. I think that there is a huge excitement in the potential, I think, for the Kidney Health Initiative to provide a technical construct, if you will, for all of the different initiatives I would hope that KidneyX does. At the same time, KidneyX will be able to provide some funding and so could become the implementer arm, if you will, of these different KHI roadmaps or technical constructs. So I think that partnership could be extremely effective and really functioning as a very strong catalyst, I would say, for innovation in the kidney disease area.
So Prabir, you joined the Kidney Health Initiative at the beginning in 2012, and your term as co-chair ends at the end of 2018. As you think back over those 6 years, what's your biggest regret? What are you most disappointed in?
So I would say that one regret that I have in the context of the Kidney Health Initiative is that I wish I could have done more to bring more young people into the Kidney Health Initiative. I think we've had some successes. We do have some younger physicians on our different work groups, but I hope that in the future we can do better in this area, because I think that KHI is a wonderful place for young people. It's a wonderful place for them because I think they can develop their professional careers in a way by linking up with KHI. And it's also wonderful for KHI because, as my dad often used to say, the best ideas come from young people, not from people like the three of us. So I think we need to use young people more within KHI, and young people need to use KHI more to develop their professional careers.
So Ray, when I ask you the same question in December of 2024, what are you hoping will be the Kidney Health Initiative will accomplish over the next 6 years?
I think that, and this is one of the major goals for the first year of my tenure, is that we're really helping to develop a new strategic plan or some new strategic goals so that we really will focus on perhaps really major, large issues that are potential roadblocks for development of new therapies for all of our patients. So I hope by the end of 2024, my main regret will be that I don't have another 3 years to be on key. But I do think that this is an exciting time for the Kidney Health Initiative, and I want to echo what Prabir said, not as a regret, but as an opportunity, because I do think that KHI has been very successful in its 6 years. Beyond, I have to say, the wildest dreams of us starting this out in 2012. And I think one of our goals for the next 3 years is really getting the word out to the community, both the renal community and the larger community, about the importance of what KHI is doing. And with that, being able to continue to attract exciting ideas and as Prabir said, young and innovative people. So I think that that can be a major goal for us for the next 3 years at least.
And how would you approach engaging clinicians, researchers, others to participate in the Kidney Health Initiative?
I think part of it is just giving them the information that there are opportunities for all aspects of all types of people interested in the kidney space. So we don't have enough people who are really just truly clinicians and not clinical trialists who are coming in to be able to say in the real world, would this work or not? And so I think that that's something that partly just getting the information out that there are ways that people can participate, many ways that people can participate, whether it's being part of a project, being able to actually, come up with new ideas, or just participating in the meetings, because it is an open meeting. We're not closed by the membership per se, and so I think that that's very important. And I also think that we need to continue to reach out to other groups, other patient groups, other advocacy groups, other professional groups to interact with them, because I think that's very important that as we continue to grow and people start to realize more and more the importance of kidney diseases on our patients.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot more interest in kidney diseases, both within policy circles, but also at the level of the FDA and other sort of venture capital and others. Prabir, what do you attribute that to?
It's all because of the Kidney Health Initiative.
Let me try a different question.
That's what we said internally. That's our answer.
No, I mean, more seriously, I think KHI has been lucky that we've sort of been around at a time when I think change is happening. I don't think it's all because of the Kidney Health Initiative, but I think that KHI can play a really important role during this period of increased innovation in the kidney disease area. It can do so, as we spoke about earlier, by creating a pre-competitive innovation substrate, by making the product development pathway easier and quicker. It can very much do so, as Ray mentioned, by getting different types of people together who normally would not come together. And in particular, I just want to emphasize that a huge strength of KHI is that it's not just physicians and industry partners that are together, but patients and regulators as well. Physicians and industry people can come together in any number of different venues, but it's really getting patients and regulators and other federal agencies at the table that I think makes KHI or allows KHI to be in a unique position at this time when a lot of new therapies are, I think, coming into the kidney area.
So Ray, what inspired you to want to succeed Prabir as the ASN Co-Chair of the Kidney Health Initiative?
Two things. One, I think that having seen it from its inception and see it grow and see it succeed, I think it's always gratifying, and to think that I could continue to be a part of that even though I'm no longer in the ASN Council. But also in the bigger sort of view of that, I'm very optimistic about the future of nephrology, and this is an exciting time, I think, for nephrology, where we're really starting to innovate and really change the whole paradigm of how we are thinking about our patients. And I think that KHI can play, and has and will continue, and can even more so play an important role in helping to facilitate and even drive that innovation. And so just to be part of that is an exciting opportunity.
Well, Ray, Prabir, thank you for joining us for today's discussion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this ASN Kidney News podcast. To learn more about the Kidney Health Initiative, please visit kidneyhealthinitiative.org or email khi@asn-online.org. This podcast is copyrighted by the American Society of Nephrology, all rights reserved. All content in this podcast is for informational purposes only and is not intended to be medical advice. This podcast should not be used in a medical emergency or for the diagnosis or treatment of any medical condition. Please consult your doctor or other qualified healthcare provider if you have any questions about any medical condition or before taking any drug, changing your diet, or commencing or discontinuing any course of treatment. Thank you for listening to this podcast of the American Society of Nephrology.